Good afternoon, and welcome to our continuing series, Interviews with Disciples and Devotees. Today, we are again honored to have Srikant with us. Namaste, Srikant. And your subject today is continuing on education.
Now, Sri Aurobindo also says, and I told last time also, that we want the new in education, but the past hangs about our neck. So, what is it that we want new? So, we have so far taken up physical education and vital education, partly, because those are the two most important things to start with. And I told you to develop the vital, especially the higher vital, which is very close from an occult point of view to the placement of the soul. So they are very near each other neighbors. So if you develop the higher vital, then automatically you are close to the soul and you are in a good mood to, or a good line to, of the discovery of your soul. So as I told you, we started by the sentence of Sri Aurobindo in the National Value of Art. I am repeating again because it's very important, where he says that poetry raises the emotions, painting stills the emotions, and music deepens and harmonizes your emotions. Among the three, they are an ideal education of the soul. So if you develop these, then automatically the soul, we are closer to a contact of your soul, and that is what we are supposed to discover and try and find. Now I have an interesting incident on this issue. We had a boy named as Bonku. He was a close friend, like he was slightly elder to me. And his English was very poor. So the teacher, Mahuda, was very unhappy and he failed him. So this boy saw that all his friends are going up in higher class. He is likely to remain behind and with new students whom he doesn't know. So straight away, whether it was in playground or whether he went up, I don't know. But he met the mother and he said, "Mother, I want to go to higher class. All my friends are going in higher class. I don't want to remain behind." So mother said, "All right." And mother gave the instruction to the school saying that let him go to higher class because he is a good soul. All right. Now this, I remember very clearly in the dining hall, the English teacher was very unhappy with it. A good soul is not going to give him good English. But we all laughed over those young people because our aim is to really develop our soul. English, French, mathematics, all this, by the way, it comes. But basically our aim is to look for our soul. So this is the new education. And how we have to go ahead was a big problem. So the first thing we started with this idea of the national value of art. And at that time, more or less, just before that, mother had already spoken in the talk with Tanmay, Artiji, and Kittu, where suddenly she came by the way and she said something about a word of Sanskrit. That's Sanskrit. I have had a very, very detailed discussion about Sanskrit with Shrovindo, and we are both convinced that some simple form of Sanskrit should be the national language of India. And by simple, I don't mean simplified, but simple as it was in the time of Vedic times. And then she gives example of it. Even Shobindu also gives example of what is meant by simple Sanskrit. Partly it has been developed by Pujalal later on. And Pujalal has also written several dramas and dance dramas in Sanskrit and Gujarati. So we thought that the best thing is, because we were very close, all three of us, Krishna, Torun and myself, any difficulty we had, we always went to Pranab, sometimes to Nalinida. Of course, any letter regarding the school education, we would normally pass it through Andreda. So we took up, and Nalinida meanwhile had said that you must have your own things, don't take outside things too much. Like earlier we used to say comedy, Twelfth Night from Shakespeare, or tragedy, Macbeth or Hamlet. So he said, no, we should be able to write our own dramas and our own dance dramas. So we took up Pujalalji's one very simple dance drama, Rajhans. The title was Rajhans. And since it was in a very simple Sanskrit, and Pujalalji had taken purposely notice to it that when it is acted, since it is in a very simple form, people would understand Sanskrit. And we also chose that by the end of the year we must really have this dance drama, Rajhans, put up, made ready for all children, and our own students will sort of enact it. And two students, we had an Arati and another, I forget her name now. But anyway, both the students, they were good at dancing and finding new movements. So we said that, all right, this dance drama that Pujalalji has put up, the music, we were four teachers really, Krishna, Torun, myself and Devi Prasad. So Devi Prasad, as I said, was very good in music, Sharod, and he also could give new notations to songs. And so he gave notations to the songs. He taught in the dance drama whatever the songs came up to the students who wanted to learn. So a dance drama, Rajhans, which is from our institution, in Sanskrit, its songs or music was composed by Devi Prasad. The musical movements were given by Arati and the other girl, two Odia girls. And the whole dance drama was composed. It was so well done, and we were constantly behind it. Because then automatically, why dance drama? Because dance drama automatically, the music also is there. Children are learning through a very vivid way in actual life the songs and music. Then since the beautiful poetry in Sanskrit, so Sanskrit also is automatically imbibed into children. And we have taken our local dance drama that Pujalalji has composed. And we thought that this must reach the mother also. Mother also should know that we have done it in Sanskrit and how this has happened. So the best thing is to do it on the birthday of Pranab. Because then we invited Pranab right to our classroom. Last moment we informed Kirit Joshi and told him that today is Pranab's birthday. We have prepared a nice drama in Sanskrit. If you like, you can join. He was extremely happy. So he came and joined. And Pranab was extremely happy. And he very highly went and told mother that I have gone and seen a dance drama in today. It is in Sanskrit and it's written by Pujalal. These boys and girls, they themselves have done everything. And mother was extremely pleased with it. So automatically, it is one thing to say that yes, you have composed songs, that you put it in movement, that automatically. Now, normal physical education is one thing. But as soon as he put the movement, and songs to dance, now that is the best form of physical education. So how it had to be done in the movement, so there the part of physical education is involved. Part of naturally vital education, the song, and naturally the way the pictorial this thing was made. So it looked like really beautiful tableaus at times. And our own boys and girls sang and danced also. About 1 hour's dance drama. But it was so well done and everybody had taken so much activity in it and so much we were involved that it became, Pranab also was extremely happy. He went and informed mother each once that they have done this. And mother also was very, very pleased. So it is one thing to say that you want the new. But how it has to be realized in a practical level, this was one of the methods that we found out. Through dance, through music and composition. Now, next year, now we had got our main workroom and we had also another room which we converted into a silence room. And why silence room? This was the idea of Tanmaya. Everywhere we should have a silence room where students should be free to go and remain in silence. Even if they fall asleep, we should not disturb them. And then mother explained why. The real solution lies in the Salva Silas of Tanmaya. Because precisely in such a room, a student will be quietly, he will be thinking of doing in his own way some meditation or some concentration without disturbance. And in such a situation, he would discover himself, the new ideas, and he will himself discover new knowledge, he will himself discover. So this was part of the second, how a knowledge is to be brought out from within. Now it's very easy to say how it has to be discovered from within, but how to do it? And that mother said, you have to do it, then only I'll be able to help you from behind. So this was a very, very interesting experiment that we did on those 40 or 50 students. Though on the other side we have grouped them according to last time, as I told you, according to spiritual beauty, according to honor, as though they are Brahmins and Kshatriyas and Vaishyas and Sudras, without calling them, without their knowing, but each one according to their character. And then meanwhile, we are having these projects which we are working absolutely day and night. And we teachers had to work really very, very hard. I had no such capacity, but I had to develop within myself. So when it came down to the level of the mixture of the Vaishyas and the Shudras working, I was an engineering student. So I straight away took a two, three boys who were very much interested in working in machines and motor and lathes and electricity. I straight away took them to the technical lab. Now, if I had asked Vishwanatha, he would have never permitted me. But he had no other way also, because I was the student also, and I had taken charge of his technical lab, which nobody was looking after. So I put up students of 9 and 10 on lathe, on milling machine, and they started learning at such a small age. And my argument to me was this. I said, I have seen in Arpago workshops small boys who come with their father, and they learn milling machine or on lathe and how to work. So Sri Aurobindo says that our old method of the Aryans, that we should make our lessons interesting, that we should put them, dearly with something in their hands to work with. So this idea of the old Aryan method, at the same time start with only 1 or 2 subjects, also was very well carried out. But everything done in a way as though we are playing, as though we are doing it's not really a task. So now here, the second year, again on Pranav's birthday, meanwhile Torun Banerjee, on tabla itself, every year he used to go to Calcutta and learn something about tabla and sitar and all. So he had developed a beautiful way to play on tabla, and my lord, he really could play tabla, whereby a whole train journey as though was going. I am very, very stunned that so far nobody had ever recorded that. And he would give a running commentary about how, while he's playing tabla, now we are moving through a tunnel. So tap, 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 and really feel we are passing through a tunnel. Now we are going over a bridge. So immediately the sound of the bridge over the tabla. So beautiful way, 15 minutes, how a whole railway journey through the music really was composed. And this again was on Pranab's birthday. But that time we had not only had this tabla, but we had also several songs which Pranab had composed, songs to the youth. Now he had written them in Bengali, so they are translated in English also. And 4 or 5 songs, Devi Prasad gave the tune. This 2 girls, Arati and Rashmi, yes, I remember the name Rashmi now. They gave the dancing movement, they themselves composed and gave. By the way, Rashmi in Orissa has become, quite a dancer as later time passes. Anyway, so these dances were so well done and everything, and finally it was put up on Pranab's birthday in the playground itself. It was that well done. So that also Pranav appreciated very much. I remember first was a hymn to Lord Sri Aurobindo, which Pranav has written in Bengali, and that hymn to Sri Aurobindo, which was composed. The next song was about the dawn, Usha, Nisha Holo Avoshan, at the end of night. So that song, now Devi Prasad gave a very beautiful tune to this song, because it is a time of dawn, and in music, classical music of India, Rag Lalit is a rag which is meant to play during dawn. So he, through his Sharod, he composed in Rag Lalit the song on this dawn, and it was really well done. It was composed. Then there was a song which Pranav has written on a boatman. So that Oreo Maji Re, which is beautiful again in Bengali, and the song Bhattiyali. I mean, that again is given the music and classical music. Bhattiyali is really meant to be when a boatman goes and sings. Normally, it is in the tune of Bhattiyali. So it was done in Bhattiyali. So how, without telling the students, we used to get them into the really the movement of the different classical music, classical ragas, and that is how they used to progress. But we yet felt that something was missing. Okay, yes, we are approaching. It is at that time, one day, we were on the ground floor, on the first floor, Tanmayas, and it was known throughout the school only. Oh, that section, Krishnabai's section and Torunda's section, it is English section. Because everybody spoke in English without thinking. And up, there was Guru Prasad and Tanmaya and Jean and some of these fellows. They always spoke in French. So it had come to be known as a French section because everybody fluently spoke in French. So as I was, and Kake was working up there. Promise. So I told Kake that, Kake, what is it that we are trying to look forward? And the new, Shobindo says that we want the new, but past hangs about our neck. So what are we looking? I am trying to do this, to come and approach the subject so that our soul opens. I say, no, Srikant, what we are looking here in the new is that not only we are looking for our own soul, but we are trying to look into the soul of the student also and make a contact with his soul. I said, Kake, what are you talking? I have not seen my soul. The student has not seen his soul. How am I to see his soul and how is he going to refer to my soul? I think that is a matter that you have difficulty, you can write to the mother. But this is what basically we are doing. We are trying to do this. I found this was a great thing. Because I remembered that Bonku's thing that let him go to a higher class because he's a good soul. We are teaching, yes, English. We are teaching other things around sideways. But our main aim is really to see the soul. I have to discover my soul. And that became singularly the most important thing. To look for my soul, to look for his soul, student's soul, and without telling. And then automatically we found that our approach toward the student also, that we are looking into him and he or she is looking into us. And our relation became far more deeper and closer than anything else. Within the teachers itself, especially between Krishna, Torun and myself, it was very often that there were no cell phones in those days, that I needed Torun, I have to just think of Torun and Torun was here. If Krishna needs me, he thinks of me and I am there. So we developed even this faculty among ourselves, that how to communicate by just throwing the ideas. And that was really a greatest challenge that we faced. And their mother was partly, as I said, that we were looking for it, and we always referred to mother through pranab or through whenever we wrote something, and it really worked out well. So there are two things to develop, as I said, the physical education and vital education. Now in physical education, one aspect that mother specially speaks, that to develop the body consciousness. Now this is something which is, unless you really see it, or you really, even if you aspire for it, you do not get it very easily. Because body is a very good slave. It is ready to listen to the mind and listen to the vital. But by itself, it doesn't have much choice. Of course, if it listens to the soul or the psychic being is the best. But soul or psychic being, we ourselves have to realize, and then only we can talk to the body. So one of the example, I hadn't come to Pondicherry till then, but I remember the example that Kittu had told me this about this story. They were having a close competition of athletics in sports ground. And they were having pole vault. Mother was sitting there and watching. And pole vault, every time you take your pole and then have to hold up and you jump. So it is not like long jump or high jump or any other item where very quickly it passes. It takes time every jump. So it takes a very long time. Finally, there was Vishwabandhu of the red group and Jyotindra, Tara's brother, was of grey group. And during those times, there wasn't much difference between red group and sort of, the grey group. There were boys of same age in red group, and there were boys of the same group in grey group. And of course, the girls also used to be in red group. So there used to be big tussle. Who is doing better, the red group or the grey group? So lastly, finally, there was Vishwabandhu. He is from the red group. He has also crossed the last limit. He is Jyotindra also. And within 1 or 2 jumps, it would be decided who would be the champion, which group is going to win and which. Now suddenly, and it had become pretty dark by then, because jumping. Suddenly, 1 or 2 jumps were remaining. Suddenly, Pranab came in between the runway to pole vault, whatever was there. Said, no, it has become very late. We shall continue this tomorrow. So, all the boys, and all the captains, they think, Mona, Manoj, Jyotindra, everybody got very angry and they started arguing. No, you get out of the way. No, I won't get out. So finally, somebody at this thing said, let us tell the mother. Ask him to get out from the way. So they all went to the mother. So much it is heated up there, nobody has thought of going to the mother. So they told the mother, ask him to get out of the way and let us finish up this. So mother became quiet. Half a minute passed, 1 minute passed. So all that excitement and all that anger slowly disappeared. Then mother slowly lifted up her eyes, looked round towards the sky, came down, and very softly said, I think it is a bit late. Let us put it for tomorrow. So the boys were very angry. They went on chattering and all that. But they couldn't say anything. It was stopped. Now next day was a puja day. All these boys, they come on puja day together, to mother. I don't remember whether it was Vijayadashmi or Kali Puja or anyway. And they all came together to the mother. Bhatti, Mona, Manoj, Kittu, and many more. So mother was giving the blessings in the meditation hall. Somewhere in between, Mona was there. And just going before, she held Mona's hand. So he stopped, so all the boys also stopped. And then she said, all of you are fools. And today the way she was speaking with a lot of power. So all got off. What's the matter? I was seeing with my eyes the next jump that Jyotindra was going to make. If he made that jump, he would have fallen on his neck and died on the spot. So Kittu later on, much later on, has told me, see, Pranab he didn't know this is going to happen. But his very body responded that something is not all right. So this is an example of a body consciousness. The body itself tells you that, well. So development of the body consciousness is like that. That you go, even if you are running something and all that, the body should tell you that this is all right, this is not all right. I myself have had 2 examples. I had a retina detachment in my right eye. It was not even a detachment. Retina was not only detached, it was torn, and like a tongue it was hanging in the vitreous humor halfway. I didn't know. Jipmer told me that well, immediately I either rushed to Madurai. That time Arvind Eye Hospital had not yet come here to Pondicherry. So either you rush off to Madurai or you go to Madras. Now I chose Madras first of all because it is near, and number 2 because Madras, doctor who has started the whole Madras, now his wife Savitri Agarwal Eye Clinic which is there, she had stayed with me in my old age home for 3-4 years. And I used to take her there, so a very close feeling with them. So I went there, not realizing how serious it was. So I travelled via bus to Madras. As they say, in such a situation, you should never travel very slowly, a car should take you. When I went there, it was a Deepavali day or something, day before Deepavali. And or 2 days before Deepavali, they said, they checked up and all said, you must bring immediately somebody to help you. Okay, we are very few here. So I came back in the bus, I took a servant with me and went back. And Pranab had given me a blessings packet. So they saw for the first time properly, and they, among themselves, what they discussed, I don't know. But they were also pretty sure that I am not going to get my vision back in the right eye. So I said, a very new method has developed, we will do that first. We will try that out. Okay, a drop of nitrogen, liquid nitrogen, very, very cold liquid nitrogen will be put inside the eyeball, which will become a bubble. And the way my retina had torn, it was in a position that if I keep in this position, that bubble will push the retina back in its position. Now it is such a hit and miss game it is. That first of all, that bubble, if it doesn't go on the side or if it doesn't, that it will push that retina back, if it will be in this position or not, God knows. It's just, it's a wild guess as though. But they had no other way, we will do this, and they told me that if you move and the bubble goes sideways, the whole operation will fail. You will have to, for a day, 2 days, you have to remain like that. I said, all right. So they did that. And while they were doing the operation, first they were talking, and that it was Deepavali day. So Dr. Srikant, who was a retinologist who came, and they had just got one anesthetist. They didn't have anybody else. So they said, you don't have anybody else. You have to keep your hands like that. If you move your hand and touch your eye, the whole operation will fail. Now imagine something scratch or something, you do this to, while the operation is going on, say, you don't have anybody, I have to keep my 2 hands this way. And all around my eyes, something like 11, 12, 13 needles were there. So I thought that this is an impossible situation. And during that time, I was first, of course, listening to them, what they were talking. Then the serious operation started. I recited to myself 3 sonnets of Sri Aurobindo. All right? Surrender, because thou art all beauty and all beautiful. Second, this sonnet is no title, it's only starting this way. And divine hearing. And I very, very quietly and it was painful, by the way. It was not that it was not painful. But I went into the pain and partly I came out of the pain so that I do not feel the pain. Both the experiments I tried out and the operation finished. They thought it is a wild guess, but after 1 or 2 days when they gently saw, they were stunned. They said not only the retina is gone back to its place, but it is stuck well. Then they made a movement and all that. After that in the ashram, so many people have had retina problem. And each one has come and told, Srikant, no, none of us are being able to see the eye, so well as you say. Today, I've just hit one spot as though I don't see very well. Only one very, very minor spot. Otherwise, my right eye I see even better than left eye. So, these are things where you develop your body itself in a new way. Of course, there is when we are reciting poems of Shri Aurobindo and all that, there are other factors that come in. But this body development and body consciousness is one of the most important things. The second thing is vital also. Development of the vital, and vital is really the most difficult portion in our life. And that development we shall see probably the next time.